Welcome to Sailing Vessel Angelique, Vancouver. Later than we think.
Angelique, Vancouver is a Coast 34 built in 1990. She's cutter rigged and has been our home for 22 years.
When we got back from our 5-week trip, we had to replace our pump for our vacuum flush toilet. The pump itself had disintegrated. The pump didn't disintegrate, but the baffle, there's a rubber baffle inside the pump that failed, and we had all kinds of nasty stuff gushing out the back. It is a gusher pump after all. And so Mike had to take the head apart, and luckily for us, we had a completely new pump in the bilge, but it had been there a while, so there's a little bit of rust on it, but it works fine. He spent all day yesterday rebuilding and taking the pump out, plus all the plumbing that goes from the toilet to the pump and out to the holding tanks out, because they were completely plugged with, shaped. This bag contains the old pump and all of the hose. I'd show it to you, but it's pretty nasty and nobody really wants to see it anyway, but I'm just going to double bag it so I can take it up to the dumpster. I don't want all that crap, literally crap, running out all over me, so I'm going to double bag it. Do that.
Because it's fun for shits and giggles. What you doing, pretty girl?
I am tightening up a hose clamp because somebody's big ass is too hard to get in here. Yeah, you should try and take a picture of where it is that I'm going. You're just getting hosed there.
Anyways, it's up in there somewhere. That's where her hose is. And yes, but that needs a clean.
This is the start of the demo so that we can repair the rotting wood on that bulkhead back there, the one that I just painted. Because we discovered it's all rotten on the bottom of it. It's hidden behind the water tank, which is underneath all the plywood, and we're just about ready to rip that up. Oh, that was what was in the locker. Yummy.
I think it's called the Bro. The end of electric drills don't wind up in sinks. That's always a bad thing. Somebody painted this one in.
Oh wow.
Jackie.
I like to paint things in.
Done a reconnoiter.
Doesn't look as bad as it did when we first looked at it. It doesn't go all the way to back there, does it? Oh yeah, it does. Yeah.
That's the hull. That's the floor. That's where the water drains onto the spot. It doesn't go into the bilge, it just sits in there.
Go down there.
To the black line right there.
Yeah, well that's where we need to get it out of there. Yeah, that's what we want to replace. That's our problem.
As you can see, we have some rot in here. Well, maybe you can't, but I think Jackie showed you in earlier videos, so we do have some rot. It's a non-structural bulkhead. It's basically part of how they would have done it when they did the construction, just because it makes it easier to install this bulkhead. Stand it on the floor. So what we're going to do, this has gone rotten after the years because water collects in here. They didn't tank it at all. So there's nowhere for the water condensation in the Pacific Northwest. The boats sweat, and there's no place for that water to go. So it's been sitting in here for 22 years, and it's rotted. Got a little bit of rot. So the idea here is to cut the rot away. We were thinking about taking the water tank out, but it's foamed in place, and it's a 50-gallon stainless steel hull, or fresh
water tank, just fresh water.
And I'm not really interested in taking that out because it's a
well, it's a lot of work. And
yeah, I'm editing myself. I was going to say some foul words there, but anyways, it's a lot of work. So we're just going to leave it where it is. we'll get rid of all the punky work. I might actually have to cut this section out because this is so rotten, as you can see.
Yeah, that section's really rotten.
It won't even hold the hatch, so I'll just cut this out and replace it with some
New
plywood and glass and finish it off so it's nice and strong. I might have to do it to this one too.
Yeah,
Just these two. Just cut them down this way. The plywood that's in behind here will cut from the inside. Then we'll use some spray and expanding foam to create a base inside the space, because inside the space the hull comes this way and the bulkhead is here. So it creates this little V.
Can't really see that there.
So it creates a little V. That's the bulkhead. This is the hull going this way, and there's the bulkhead. And then there's a limber hole about 2 inches above the bottom of this space, this V. And the water it'll hold 2 inches of water. So we don't want to have it do that. So we'll fill that with expanding foam. Once I clean it out and get to good solid wood.
But we've got to pull out. There's 2
So the water lines that go
to the head have to be cut. We're just going to cut and pull back the bit that goes aft and pull out the stuff that goes forward, because we're going to replace those water hoses anyway.
Mm-hmm.
That just means that we won't have water in the head for a little bit, but we don't really use water up there much anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Just to wash your hands and stuff. We don't shower up there.
Power line that goes to that direction. So some of the services that go forward, but they're very minor.
Yeah, so we're going to be without our TV for a while.
The Blue Idiot box will be off.
The Blue Idiot box will be off for a while, and
we'll actually have to read a book.
we'll have to, do other stuff. You'll have to read a book. You're the one that watches TV. I don't watch TV.
I don't know if I've never had to do that.
So that's the game plan for today. We
and as you can see, can you see me on the video?
Yes, I can see you.
So when I'm cutting it out with a Dremel tool, this will be my knife.
Yeah, that will be so much fun.
For all you guys that are thinking about moving on a boat, you're going to end up with something like this at some point in your career.
And
you'll have your head in a hole.
And we are doing this while living aboard, so most of this stuff is in disarray once again. So this will be several weeks how we're going to live.
Living in a construction zone. So
once again, the last 3 years has been living in a construction zone.
If you buy an old boat, you're going to live in a construction zone.
It wasn't old when we bought her.
That was 22 years ago.
I know.
I was a lot younger too.
Yes.
About 50 pounds thinner.
Yes.
Less tattoos. Less hair in the face, more hair in the head. The list goes on and on.
So this is phase 1. We have to rewire the power for our TV VCR
Entertainment
center over there.
Yep.
So that we would still have TV while we do all the renovations. This is important.
No, that's not the real reason.
No, that's important.
No, that's not the real reason.
What is the real reason?
The real reason is that power also powers up the air dryer in the head, so that when you go to sit on the toilet, it's 5 o'clock in the morning.
It's nice and warm.
It's warm.
Yeah, well, only you require that. I don't get up that early.
Oh, so you don't care if your butt sits on a cold toilet seat or not?
Well, it's not cold by the time I get up.
At noon.
At noon, yeah.
So I've turned the volume down quite a bit on this section because all you're going to hear is the shop vac going and the 5-inch angle grinder going. Yeah, that's what I'd like to be doing, is drinking liquor, but unfortunately there's the shop vac, our whole house pulled all apart, and my head stuck in a hole with a 5-inch angle grinder. Not a lot of fun, but it is what it is. Yes, I'm wearing some safety glasses. No, I'm not wearing any mask. Yes, I know I should have one on, but I couldn't get my face in the hole with it. Well, I probably could, but I'm dying of other chemicals, so I'm not worried about a little bit of dust. Just a picture of chunks and debris in somebody's fat ass.
We're into the second stage of repairs here, which is
20 drops of crayons.
epoxy. In the little cup there is
20 millimeters.
epoxy, and that's a catalyst that he's going to be adding in a minute. And then he's going to be painting
Which would be 100 millimeters.
resin onto the insides of our lockers to seal in the plywood. After you chipped out all the rotten plywood, what's left is the bits that weren't rotten, so we're going to seal those off, so if there's any more water that gets there in the future, it won't rot the plywood out again.
So Jackie, how do you like the smell?
I hate the smell.
Holy whew!
Pretty.
You can't see it in the video, but my God, does it smell high of polyester resin in here. So we moved on. Foam tomorrow, and then we escape.
It doesn't look like you got a very good... Oops, stepped on the tank. It doesn't look very flat in there, dear.
Very what?
Flat.
As flat as I can get.
Okay. So we're still gonna have ponding water. But at least it won't be going rotten in the wood.
So, what do you do on a rainy day? Well, you tear your lazarette apart, throw it all over inside the cockpit, and on a 34-foot boat, that's not a very big cockpit, dive into this little hole, which is, you know, pretty easy for most people, but when you're over 6 feet tall and over 220 pounds, it's not the easiest thing to get into, and do a little bit of bulkhead repair. Oh, joys of boat ownership. I'm gonna cry.
Boat maintenance, it never ends. Once again, our lazarettes are pulled apart and everything we own is in our cockpit. And Mike,
The small bear has to get into a little hole.
is going back into a lazarette. And what are we repairing this time, honey?
A piece of rotten bulkhead.
Yeah, which you can't really see
Some
because
dry
it's
rot.
dark in there.
Oh, I already took pictures on a previous.
Sunny day,
Yep, you'll see it.
as he tries to bend himself into the lazarette. Oh, look how much fun he's having on a rainy day. And yes, it's just peeing out. We've got 4 months to do all the work before we head south, so this one had to be done.
Why
Right.
don't you come in here and do this?
No,
Come on.
no.
So, after much cursing, swearing, and chipping and grinding, sorry, we have, here, I'll steady the camera out a little bit, a layer of Nitex on, and we'll just let that cure. We'll machine it a little bit, and paint it out, and hopefully nobody knows anything about it. Other than, why is there a dent in the wall? Oh well. Thanks for watching. Give us a thumbs up or comment in the line below. You can also subscribe to us on YouTube at
SV Angelique Vancouver. You can follow us on our blog, LaterThanWeThink.blogspot.ca or .com. Both of them work. And our Instagram page and Facebook pages, both under SV Angelique Vancouver.